Welcome back to CasualBiasRugby. It's the official match preview for the Springboks taking on Argentina for potentially the Rugby Championship decider. Obviously, South Africa, I think they need about 2 points, only the 2 points to win the Rugby Championship, so victory secures it. But this could possibly not be the decider. You know, if Argentina put up a massive fight, they win the game without giving South Africa any points. All of a sudden, it's all to play for in that final weekend of the championship. So in this video, we'll break down the two squads. We'll look at like some of the history between the two teams. Really break down the game like in a very fan type perspective instead of being an analyst, and really see where South Africa or Argentina could get the advantage. So please do remember to like and subscribe to the channel. I do appreciate each and every one of you guys. Anyway, if you are like me and you do like to put your money where your mouth is, there is a link in my bio, or you can download the app called BETWAY, right, and use code CASUAL. I don't endorse it, but I do it. So I mean, if you also do it, you want to have what people call fun. There you go. Okay, I've sorted you out with the place. Anyway, let's get into the South African squad. Obviously, we did a video on Tuesday breaking it down, so we'll quickly just run through it. We've got Ox the Steamroller in chair, Malcolm Marx and Thomas du Toit, probably on form, right? Like, how many props in the world are better on form at the moment? How many hookers are better than Malcolm Marx? So a really strong forward pack. Yeah. Like I mentioned before, like the Argentinians, they'll have their work cut out for them physically all over the park, you know. Salman Murat captaining the side, taking on that number 4 jersey, and then his partner Ruan Orkia, who I was actually surprised to see, but I'm very happy to see him. I would rather play him than Jansen van Rensburg, but I predicted Jansen van Rensburg to play, but I'm very happy to see Ruan Orkia. Absolute workhorse, like-for-like replacement for the likes of Franco Mostert. So beautiful to see him. 6, 7, 8, Marco van Staden, Ben Jason Dixon, Jasper Wiese, and they know they'll have the work cut out for them. We'll get into the Argentinian lineup in a bit, because I'm very surprised one of the boys are not starting. But we know how dangerous that loose trio is of Argentina. And our boys need to go out and do that job. We need them to do the dirty work. Marco van Staden knows his job is to get over that ball. The same with Malcolm Marx. Ben Jason Dixon has to play that Peter Steph to tackle role, jump out of the line, make the crazy tackles, be physically dominant. That will be his role. And I mean, I just get a feeling Ben Jason Dixon will put in a worldy performance, you know. Like, people have kind of, I wouldn't say judged him or written him off, but there was a lot of criticism around his performance after the first All Black game. And I mean, valid, right? He wasn't great by any means, but we can't forget how good of a player he is. He was sensational in the URC. He was sensational since he's been playing for the Springboks, except for that one game. And I think he needs to come out and put in a statement performance. Really say, listen, I am the future in the 7 jersey. I think he's got a massive future in the Springboks. For the Springboks, he'll have a long career for us. So yeah, Jasper Wiese. I'm not too sure if I said it on Tuesday, but someone asked me, like, early thoughts, who do you think is going to be man of the match? And I said Jasper Wiese. I just feel like it's time for him to have an absolutely standout performance. His discipline has not let us down, could I say, yet. But I just think like a beast Jasper Wiese performance. Like, we've always seen him kind of like as the Argentinian player in South Africa in terms of inconsistency. So he can have a brilliant game and he can have an absolute shocker. And so far, he hasn't really had brilliant games, and he hasn't had absolute shockers either. Like, he's just been very good, consistently good, and I want him to put in that worldy of a performance and really step out and show what he's all about. And that's what I'm predicting we're going to see from Jasper Wiese. Moving on into the back line, we've got the likes of Kobus Reinach and Andre Pollard. No issues there. Obviously, they need to get us into, I wouldn't say front foot ball, but quick ruck ball, get that ball out wide, really give and Creel time to produce their magic. I want to see that centre combination really flourish. As I just mentioned, Lukhanyo and Jesse Creel in the centre combination. We saw it, they were in the lineup to play against the Wallabies, right? But obviously, like in that torrential rain, you couldn't really expect too much of them. They were great defensively, as expected, but no one could do a lot on attack. You know, it was like catching a piece of soap, or I don't even know what you call it, just like catching soap. So big game for them. I want to see them getting us over the gain line, really showing a kind of creative spark in the back line. I think it's time that we see this back line that Tony Brown has been working on, and I want to see it flow. I want to see some proper running rugby. I want to see the moves coming through. So yeah, big game for the boys in the back line, and obviously, when we talk about the South Africans, you always talk about the wingers and the finishers that we have. And I mean, we've got 3 very, very good finishers. Yeah, not all of them have great steps, like Marcus Oloma-Pimpi, yet he's got like a, 72% try scoring record in the games that he plays, scores 7 tries out of 10 games that he plays, which is absolutely insane. He goes on to the left, Kurtley Arendse goes on to the right, and then Apelile Fassi at fullback. And I actually spoke to Brett on Safas Unscripted, where he mentioned like he is also a bit worried defensively with Fassi. Like that is kind of a space that Argentina could exploit. But then on the other hand, I'm like, we also have enough time. We had enough time these 2 weeks to kind of prepare for what Argentina could possibly throw at us. I'm pretty sure we will still be defensively sound. I can't see us missing 37 tackles again. That would be unacceptable, especially with the elusive players that Argentina have. But I think this is the perfect game for Apelile Fassi, because he kind of takes the high ball threat out of any game, because he's that secure under the high ball. But also on attack, right? I don't think Argentina's defense is necessarily the best, right? So if there's any lapse of judgment or a proper wrong defensive read, Apelile Fassi will be there, and he's there to take the gap. That is kind of where he comes in. He's very much a moments player, in my opinion. And when you play the likes of Argentina or Scotland or even Wales at the moment, like it feels like those teams, they give you some moments, and you need those moments players to really shine through and leave their spark on the match. And I think that is perfect for the likes of Apelile Fassi. Onto the bench, Jan-Hendrik Wessels, Gerard Steenekamp, Vincent Koch. I still don't understand why we've got Jan-Hendrik Wessels there. I know he can play hooker, but when we've got so much prop depth and you have clear and obvious better hooker options than Jan-Hendrik Wessels, I don't understand why we wouldn't want to give the likes of a Johan Grobler more experience, why we wouldn't have brought in Andre Guventer, who's been out of the Currie Cup now for a couple of weeks. Like, give him that opportunity in the Bok jersey. Obviously, he was called up against, was it Portugal? I think it was Portugal. Didn't get the opportunity. Like, I just think, why not play him? Or not even, let's just go back, Johan Grobler. Why are we not playing Johan Grobler, who's an absolutely brilliant hooker? But I mean, it is what it is. Eben Etzebeth to come on, equal Victor Matfield's tests. Elrich Louw and Kwagga Smith to round off the forwards on the bench. Obviously, they are kind of the more utility forwards. Elrich Louw, you can slot into the lock position. He's predominantly a loosey, and then obviously he takes that number 8 jersey as well. Kwagga Smith, the same goes. He just can't slot into lock, and he's the best player in the world when he comes from the bench. So, I mean, yeah, Jayden Hendrickse, Marnie Lebok. Jayden probably just there to control the game once again. We saw he did it very well against the All Blacks, so it's probably going to be the same story for him playing up against Argentina. And if I'm not mistaken, right, he's played a couple of games against Argentina and he hasn't really had bad performances against them. Like, I'm not going to lie, I'm not the biggest Jayden Hendrickse fan, but like, I don't think he's played bad against Argentina. For some reason, I think Argentina, Jayden Hendrickse, he's put in a couple of absolute stellar performances. Then Marnie Lebok, I think he's going to have a massive season in the URC, first and foremost. I spoke about it in the previous 2 videos where I just said, Marnie, yeah, people forget about his kicking. I've said this multiple times, but he's still a great 10. And I think if we get a decent lead and we bring on Marnie, trust him in that 10 jersey to just create magic, like, he could still be a stellar 10 for the Springboks. I think he's unbelievable as a player. Yeah, he's got some off games, just like every other player, but it's because his kicking is bad. So when he's got a bad game as well, it just shines so much more. But yeah, anyway, that wraps up the Springbok squad. Going into the Argentine squad, and yeah, let's not act like I know all of these players by heart. Obviously, some names ring a bell and stuff, but obviously they've got standout players, and then other guys that I'm just like, yeah, I don't really know who you are, to be honest. But starting off in their front row, Thomas Gallo, Julian Montoya, and Joel Sclavi, sorry. Yeah, as you could tell, I don't know who the number 3 is. Yeah, basics. they're going to have their work cut out for them. I know I say that a lot. But yeah, going up against some of the best props in the world, going up against Malcolm Marx, I'm really looking forward to towards that battle between Julian Montoya, the captain, and Malcolm Marx. I think that is a massive collision, and I love that. I love battles on the rugby field, right? And that one just stands out for you. Then you've got Franco Molina and Pedro Rubiolo. Once again, I don't know. Well, the South African line-out has been a bit of a shitter the past couple of weeks. I don't know what the fuck is going on there. So these boys, they'll probably fancy their chances to make it an absolute mess at line-out time and really possibly hit us on the counter-attack. Possibly. Like, one thing with the Springboks is like our line-outs were always one of the most secure things in the world, and it feels like when we played against the All Blacks, I don't know if it was just the All Blacks defending well or we were just shit, but like, we threw over so many balls. So obviously that meant that our line-out was shit. Like, if you can't find your jumper, like, I get it if Scott Barrett or Tupuvai or whoever came in front of you and slapped the ball, right? Then they just won the line-out. But when we started throwing it overboard, like, that's just silly. I don't know where that's all of a sudden come from. Anyway, going into the Lucies, and this is why I'm surprised, but also where I'm scared as hell. Pablo Matera takes the 6 jersey, Marcos Kremer takes the 7 jersey, and Jaquan Ovido takes the number 8 jersey. I know Ovido, he's played a couple of games at 8, if I'm not mistaken, but I'm so surprised not to see Juan Martin Gonzalez. I just thought if you had Lucies like Kremer, Matera and Gonzalez, you would absolutely thrive. Like, the three of them are probably, I can't think of teams really that has got a better loose trio in the world. Like, obviously on form you'd probably put South Africa number 1 or number 2, but I think they give a strong shout to be number 1 in the world. I'm just happy that Argentina didn't decide to go with Marcus Cremo at lock. I think he's a scintillating loose. Keep him as a loose forward. But yeah, I'm pretty sure Ovido is an amazing player, seeing that he's literally pipped Juan Martin Gonzalez into their squad. Anyway, that wraps up the forwards, and we know it's going to be a physical battle. When you play against South Africa, it doesn't matter who you are, it's going to be a physical battle. And yeah, I just don't know. I think we might give them some space at the breakdown, which does scare me. They've got good loosies that can really get over the ball, good jacklers on the ball. So South Africa's just got to focus on getting... really focusing on getting boys at the breakdown. I know we want to play this running rugby, but you got to secure the ball before you want to play some running rugby. Moving on into the back line, we've got Gonzalo Betrano, Thomas Albornoz, who had what a steaming game he had against the Wallabies. Like, I mean, we all spoke about Santi Carreras. That is a pretty good player. He's probably like the future 10 for Argentina for the future, you know. But then you look at the performance that Albornoz played, I'm just thinking, okay, well, that is some healthy competition that's come through there. So, I mean, yeah, very excited to see them. Obviously, we know Betrano is very good. Santiago Chocobares with Lucio Cinti, that is talent. That is good talent that you have there in the centre combination, and it's going to be a feisty battle. This is the second feisty battle that I'm talking about. Chocobares versus Lucanio and Lucio Cinti versus Jesse Krill. It's beautiful. These are the things that you live for. But the main battle is the back three, where you have Mateo Carreras against Kurtley Arendse. Like, if you had to tell me, right, name your top 5 wingers in the world, both of them get in, both of them probably fight for that top 3 spot, and they probably one pips the other. And I'm not even sure which one, because both of them are absolutely insane. And I'm so happy that it's not Mapimps going up against Carreras, because obviously Mapimps' defense is pretty good, right? Like, I don't think Mapimpi misses a lot of tackles or anything. But just how slippery Carreras is, you want an agile winger to go up against him. And that is exactly why Kurtley Arendse is there, facing him. So I'm really excited to see this battle. Moving on, you've got Batista Delgay and then John Cruz Malia to round off the Argentinian squad. As you know, I'm not going to say too much about the Argentinian squad. I don't know all these boys. I'm not going to sit here and fake these type of things. But let's look at some of the history between the two teams, right? And how many is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games. 8 games South Africa unbeaten against the Argentines. The last time they got a victory against South Africa was in Mendoza in 2018. And why does it feel like Argentina never beat South Africa, even though I feel like they've beaten us a couple of times? I'm looking at it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then Argentina got one back, right? And then it's 1, 2, 3 South Africa, 1 Argentina, 1, 2, 3 Argentina, 1, 2. Yeah, okay. And then they haven't won since then, right? So it looks like, what, 2015? Was that the first victory for Argentina over South Africa? Which is crazy. Have they only beaten us 3 times? Why does that feel so wrong? That feels so wrong. Anyway, okay. I did not expect that. I thought the record would have been a lot better. Like, when Argentina probably came into this rugby championship, they probably felt like, okay, we should get a victory, push for 2 victories over the Wallabies, but have at least 1 there. And then if I had to pick another team that we could possibly beat, I would have probably picked South Africa, right? Like, I don't think that they're going into this like, oh, we're taking on the best team in the world. They're going out there, they're going to have the mentality of, we can win the rugby championship, and we have beaten them before, so we can do it again. And that pretty much scares me, you know, because Argentina is so inconsistent. What's stopping them from actually putting up 2 consistent performances, 2 good consistent performances? What's stopping them from putting in 2 bad consistent performances, to be fair as well? Yeah, so this is a massive game. As you can tell, I'm very excited. I'm just rambling on, you know. So the official prediction is, just because I feel like playing in Argentina is the most overrated thing in the world, I think Argentina is a good team at home, but it's not a fortress to go to. We've seen Argentina lose a lot of games in Argentina. We literally saw the Wallabies just beat them in Argentina. Obviously, they had a bounce back of the century by putting a history-making 67 points on the Wallabies. But I'm going South Africa to win this game, and I think it will be pretty comfortable. And I'll give you a spoiler for next weekend already. I think next weekend's game is going to be a lot tighter than this weekend's game. I just feel like the boys that are going out onto the field, obviously they're not the first team boys necessarily, but they'll have a point to prove. And I think Argentina just kind of, it feels to me when they get that emotional, when they sing the national anthem, obviously it's beautiful scenes, right? But it just feels like that they have the knack of crumbling under their own pressure. I might be talking the biggest load of rubbish, right? But that's just kind of how it feels every now and again. But I am excited for this game. I think it's going to be a scintillating game of rugby. I do not know what the weather is like there. I hope it's a nice sunny day for some proper running rugby, because that's obviously what we want to see. You know, you don't want to go into a decider and have it a raining kick out. But yeah, anyway, that wraps up the video. Please do remember to like and subscribe. I do appreciate each and every one of you guys. So the Springboks takes this one by 14 points. That's what I'm going with. Thank you.